Hi, everybody. Delegation can be one of the most important, undervalued, and hardest things a leader can do. It can also be one of the most rewarding. In this Mac Talk, I want to share with you the importance of delegation to your organization's success. If you find this video informative, hit the like button and consider subscribing. So, I was reading an audiobook the other day, and the author and narrator made a comment about delegation that made me pull over and really think. The comment was that you can only lead if you're in charge of nothing. My first thought was, wow, this guy must have been drinking when he wrote that line. If you're not in charge of anything, then what are you leading? But, the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. As a leader, you have many responsibilities. Things like setting a vision for your company or division, developing people, guiding your team through projects and objectives. Effective delegation is critical to successfully accomplishing all of those responsibilities. But let's start with this. Delegation is very hard for some leaders, especially new leaders. Some new leaders believe that they can continue to do what they did in their past role plus their new role, partially because they don't fully understand the scope of what their new role is, partially because they believe that they're the only one who can really do the job, and partially because they're afraid to look like they're passing off on the real work. Some of these reasons point to one major underlying cause, and we're going to address that at the end of this talk. So let's discuss how delegation helps you accomplish your responsibilities as a leader. So let's start with setting a vision for your company or division. Visions are views of where you're going or something that hasn't happened yet. A vision is something in the future. If you're tied down being in charge of things that are going on right now, how can you really focus on something that's in the distance? How can you really see the big picture? It's the whole forest for the trees analogy. If you're always looking down here at what's going on, you're not able to look up to the horizon and see what's coming or where you're going. Leaders need to delegate so they can be looking up and out. So number 2, guiding your team through projects and objectives. This is very similar to setting a vision. As you work through projects, sometimes unexpected obstacles pop up and cause potential roadblocks in the future. As a leader, it's your job to guide your team around as many of those obstacles as possible. The thing is that if you're only looking at what's going on right now, in other words, if you're in charge of everything, you cannot see what's coming. Leaders need to delegate responsibly, select people to be in charge of the project, so they can keep their eyes looking forward to guide the ship around those icebergs. One of the last and most important is developing people. I believe that this as a leader is one of our most important responsibilities. It's been said that a leader's main job is to train their replacement. Delegation is one of the main tools that you can use as a leader to do this. Delegating your responsibilities to employees gives them an opportunity to stretch their abilities, to learn new skills, to become more engaged in the success of the company, to feel a sense of accomplishment and pride in their work. Delegation also gives you the chance to really evaluate their skills. It shows you training opportunities and allows you to see who's ready for that next promotion, either in your company or division or perhaps in another division. So we can all agree that delegation is critical to your company's success and to your success as a leader in accomplishing your main responsibilities of setting a vision, guiding your team, and developing people. So why then do so many leaders have trouble or completely refuse to delegate? We covered some of this at the beginning of this Mac Talk with the promise to cover the main underlying cause of non-delegation. And that cause is simply this. It's ego or arrogance. The false belief that you and only you can do the job and you can get it right. The incorrect belief that delegation shows weakness. It's ego. Good leaders cannot have an ego that stops them from doing what is right. Leaders with egos like that, the ones that refuse to delegate, will lose their best employees first and eventually their next best. And eventually, and so on until they're left with an unengaged group of underperformers who are just making it through their day to get a paycheck. So, put your ego in check, set it aside, learn to delegate, because until you're in charge of nothing, you cannot begin to lead. Thank you.